Good evening and welcome to Primetime News here on TV1. Today is Vesak, celebrated by Buddhists across the country. We at News First would like to take this opportunity to wish all our viewers a peaceful and wholesome Vesak. Before we take a look at how Vesak was celebrated across the country, let's first cross over to the headlines.
Buddhists all over the world celebrate Vesak by giving priority to religious events. The Sirasa Namami Vesak zone opens in Kuragala. Agra Shravaka relic exposition at the Mahabodhi grounds in Maliga Kanda. Over 900 prisoners granted pardon for Vesak. Many areas in Sri Lanka experienced over 100 millimeters of rainfall. Opposition objects to the appointments of temporary chairman to the Committee on Public Finance.
රජයේ මේ ආකාරයෙන් ක්‍රියාත්මක වීම තුළ අපේ රටට උදා වෙන්නේ ඉතාම අවාසනාවන්ත තත්ත්වයක් කියන එක කියන්න ඕනේ.
ආණ්ඩුවට ඕන දේවල් අනුමත කරගන්න මේ මුදල්කාරක සභාව සහ පාර්ලිමේන්තු ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදය විනාශ කරනවා.
Of all Poya days, the Vesak full moon Poya day is of utmost significance as it marks three major events in the life of Lord Buddha. It was on a day like this that the birth, enlightenment and the parinirvana of Lord Buddha took place. This year Buddhists mark the 2567th Vesak celebration. Vesak Day is one of the biggest days of the year and is celebrated by Buddhists all over the world. Buddhists commemorate the important events that took place in the life of the Lord Buddha on this day. First comes the birth of Siddhartha Gautama in Lumbini in Nepal, which took place under the arbor of the Sultry, where Queen Mahamaya gave birth to him. The second event was Siddhartha Gautama's supreme attainment as the Buddha, the Enlightenment. It's believed that Siddhartha Gautama realized that wealth and luxury did not guarantee happiness. So he travelled as a homeless holy man to learn more about the world and saw the suffering in the world. It's believed that he became spiritually aware and reached his goal of finding meaning in life. This is called enlightenment. The third event was Lord Buddha's Parinibbana over 2500 years ago in Kusinara. According to Buddhist history, Lord Buddha's third visit to Sri Lanka also took place on Vesak full moon Poya day. Lord Buddha visited Kalani at the invitation of the Naga king Maniakita on a day like this. History says it was on a day like this that Prince Vijay and his entourage of over 100 people also reached Sri Lanka. Buddhists across Sri Lanka visited temples since Friday morning for religious events and rituals to mark Vesak Poya day.
The Sirasa Namami Vesak zone got underway at the historic Kuragala Raja Mahaviharaya and the Mahabodhi Agra Shravaka Mahaviharaya in Maliga Kanda, Colombo. An exposition of the sacred relics of Sariputta and Moggallana also opened on Friday at the new relics chamber that was constructed at the premises. Thereafter, the Mahasangha led an afternoon Sambuddha Puja. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, the Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, among others, were present for the event. Religious events were held under the directives of Venerable Bangala Upatisatero, the President of the Mahabodhi Society of Sri Lanka, Chief Sanganayaka of Japan.
I was 12 years old when I first came to this temple. For 73 years, I have been serving the sacred relics of the Sariputta and Moggallana Theros, and I also served at the Chetiyagiri Buddhist temple in Sanchi. Therefore, I have been able to render great service and produce a talented student generation. This is a puja for the sacred relics of Sariputta and Moggallana Theros, who were instrumental in providing us with the Sambuddha Sasana. Today we announce it to the world, and on behalf of the government, I extend my appreciation to Venerable Banagala Upatisatero, the Mahasangha and the Mahabodhi Society.
The Sirasa Namami Vesak zone at the historic Kuragala Raja Mahaviharaya will continue until the 14th of May. The Vesak zone will feature a Vesak pandal, Vesak lanterns and Bhakti Gi performances. An exposition of the Sarvagni relics opened on Friday morning and devotees in large numbers visited the premises to pay reverence to the sacred relics. The event is taking place under the directives of Venerable Watukumbure Dhammaratana Thero, the chief incumbent of the historic Kuragala Raja Mahaviharaya and the chief Sanganayaka of the Ratnapura district for the Askiri chapter.
මේ ලක්ෂ සංඛ්‍යාත මිනිස්සුන්ට බුදුන් දකින්නට අද අපි තෝතැන්නත් තනවලත් තින අපේ වෙසක් කලාපේ මේ සුගන්ධ කුටියට ලක්වැසි බෞද්ධ ජනතාවට අපි ආරාධනා කරනවා භාග්‍යතුන් වහන්සේ සියසින් දකින්නට අපේ සිරස වෙසක් කලාපයට එන්න.
A statue of Lord Saman was also opened at the historic Kuragala Raja Mahaviharaya. The 28th edition of the Siri Sadaham Setha Dhamma Sermon program, based on a concept of opposition leader Sajit Premadasa, took place at the Mahabodhi Agrashravaka Mahaviharaya in Maliga Kanda, Colombo. The Dhamma sermon was conducted by Rajakiya Pandita, Tripitakacharya, Shastrapati, Venerable Ambulagala Sumanagala Thero. The State Vesak Festival will be held at the Tabellava Sri Ratanasiri Bhikkhu Training Centre and Mahapirivana in Shilao. It is organised by the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs. A special religious event took place at the Buddha statue located at the Shakya Malakya opposite the Capital Maharaja Group head office premises in Colombo. This meritorious deed was supported by the management and staff of Harcross Chemicals Private Limited, a subsidiary of Capital Maharaja Group. Vesak pandals, Vesak lanterns added more colour to the Vesak celebrations that are taking place for the first time in several years, and dansals were organised to mark this religious event. The vegetable dansala was organised by the Pibidunugama Green Garden Vegetable Sellers in Pilimatalaga. Vegetables worth 1 million rupees was given away free.
The Depanama Broadcasting Centre and Stein Studios Ratmalana were illuminated for Vesak.
The Sri Lanka High Commission in Kenya co-hosted the Vesak Day commemoration with the Thai Embassy at the United Nations office in Nairobi on Friday. The highlight of the event was the donation of 1 million seedlings and plants by the Sri Lanka High Commission and a group of Sri Lankans in Kenya to Nairobi City County as a gesture of goodwill and symbolic support for the 50 billion tree planting campaign launched by the President of Kenya. The Inspire in Vesak ceremony was held for the first time in the main conference hall of the UNON with the participation of the UN Under-Secretary General and Director General of the UNON, Zainab Hawa Bangura, Deputy Governor of the Nairobi County, ambassadors, Kenyan government authorities, including the representatives of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Kenya and members of the Sri Lankan community.
The General Assembly, by Resolution 54/115 of 1999, recognized internationally the Day of Vesak to acknowledge the contribution that Buddhism, one of the oldest religions in the world, has made for over 2.5 millennia.
There were around 300 participants gathered at the UNON to attend the important event.
Adhering to the same values of Theravada Buddhism, Thailand also observes the Vesak holiday. The Royal Thai Embassy therefore also participated in the Buddha Rashmi at the National Vesak Festival 2023. Several politicians, including Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardene, Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena and Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, were present at the event. The National Vesak Festival 2023 is to be held between the 5th and 7th of May and is jointly organized by the Presidential Secretariat, Prime Minister's Office and the Ganga Rama Temple.
988 prisoners were granted a special presidential pardon for Vesak Poya Day on Friday. The Department of Prisons said that among those who received a pardon are 6 female prisoners. It added that among the total number of prisoners who received a pardon were those who were languishing behind bars, unable to pay their fines, and those imprisoned for over 18 years. At the same time, relatives of prisoners will be given a special opportunity to visit inmates on Friday and Saturday. The Department of Prisons said that relatives are allowed to bring meals for one prisoner during the visit.
Leadership is about wise decisions. And wise decisions can be taken only by a lucid assessment of fact. By allowing one's judgment to be clouded by emotion, one will not be in a position to make the right decision. This story, the Apannaka, is the first of the 550 Jataka stories of Sri Lankan literature. And it is perhaps its most valuable as it discusses leadership that is founded on the principle of the truth.
News First presents a Vesak special, a digital pandol depicting the Apannaka Jataka story, a philosophy for leadership. Visit the News First English YouTube channel now.
Chief Opposition Whip Lakshman Kiryala said that Inter-Parliamentary Union will be kept informed over the appointment of temporary chairman instead of full-time chairman to the Committee on Public Finance. He said that the Committee on Public Finance met on Thursday the 4th and SLPP MP Johnston Fernando was appointed as the temporary chairman. What is the Committee on Public Finance?
Parliament is vested with the power to control public finances. Parliament makes decisions regarding the spending of public money and taxation in the country. It is the Parliament that inquires and reports on whether the money is spent in an appropriate manner, and when spent, was it done properly, that it would achieve the targets set for the benefit of the country and the nation. Such inquiries are done via the committee set up in the Sri Lankan Parliament. Among them, the Committee on Public Finance holds a very important place.
How is the Committee on Public Finance formed?
Just like other Parliament committees, the Committee on Public Finance is also formed by the MPs. In order to achieve fruitful results, it is tradition to appoint an MP from the opposition with a sound knowledge and understanding of finance and economics to the post of Chairman of the Committee on Public Finance.
What is happening now?
When Parliament was prorogued on the 27th of January, Dr. Harsha De Silva was the chairman of the Committee on Public Finance. At that time, a number of important institutions were being investigated by the Committee on Public Finance and the Committee on Public Enterprises. With the prorogation of Parliament, these committees ceased to function. Thereafter, the Sri Lankan Parliament reconvened for a new session.
What happened after that?
Despite objections being raised from the opposition, MP Vajira Abewardhana, who represented the ruling faction, was appointed as the acting chairman and several bills were passed by the Committee on Public Finance. Later, the name of Mayantha Dissanayake, who was an opposition MP, was proposed and passed, and Mayantha Dissanayake, who initially accepted the position, later resigned. Accordingly, the entire opposition had proposed the name of Dr. Harsha De Silva for the post of chairman. But the position has not been permanently filled to date. It is in such a background that the opposition MPs are alleging that Johnston Fernando was appointed as the temporary chairman.
People accused of corruption have been appointed to this. Why is transparency, fraud and corruption given to an opposition MP? So if the government continues to act like this while the country is still falling, how can we recover? Day by day, those who have accusations and those who have cases are destroying the Committee on Public Finance and democracy of the Parliament. The Speaker agreed at the recent party leaders meeting that Dr. Harsha De Silva should be given the post of chairman. So why is this going on in this manner?
Committee member Attorney Chandima Veerakodi strongly opposes this appointment.
Johnston Fernando
Johnson Fernando has been appointed as a temporary chairman through the support of the ruling party members, despite facts being presented on 7 occasions to the committee stating that there is no power to make such an appointment. The Speaker of Parliament has acted in a despicable manner by even calling for committees on selection to appoint a chairman to the Committee on Public Finance from the opposition and eventually postponing it for the 4th time. At a time when we are working towards gaining the assistance of the IMF and the World Bank, the government's conduct in such a manner would lead to a very unfortunate situation. What we see today is an attempt by the executive to take over the legislature and proceed with an authoritarian rule.
උදා වෙන්නේ ඉතාම අවාසනාවන්ත තත්ත්වයක් කියන එක කියන්න ඕනේ.
The Tamil National Alliance notes that the failure to appoint a permanent chairman to the Committee on Public Finance is a serious issue.
இந்த குழுதான் பாராளுமன்றத்தில் இருக்கின்ற 3 நிதி குழுக்களுக்கு.
As per the constitution, Parliament has control over public finances. Committees are appointed to monitor the conduct of the executive. If a ruling party MP is appointed to the post by violating the standing orders, it can be seen as a power grab by the executive. They assume that the Committee on Public Finance must grant approval to whatever the executive wants to do. That is why they are trying to have one of their own appointed.
ஒருவரை நியமிக்க அவர்கள் எத்தனிக்கிறார்கள்.
Former chairman of the Committee on Public Finance, Dr. Harsha De Silva, in a tweet said that it is shameful that for the 4th time, the appointment of a permanent chairman to the Committee on Public Finance was postponed.
Allegations are being raised over irregularities in the procurement of medicines required for Sri Lanka at a time when a medicine shortage has had a negative impact on the society.
Sri Lankan patients have been affected by 3 major issues. The first is the medical shortage, second is the concerns mounting over the quality of medicines, and third is the removal of the price controls on medicine. The current cost of medicines is unbearable. At present, major corruption is taking place over the procurement of medicines for the government. This is a tender for 2.5 million cefuroxime sodium vials, a popular antibiotic. The health ministry sidelined the firm that offered 1 vial for 19 US cents and opted for a proposal for 85 US cents per vial. All documents are prepared and this tender will cost the country an additional 1.6 million US dollars.
මිලියන් 1.6ක් වැඩිපුර වියදම් කරනවා මේ ටෙන්ඩරය හරහා.
The non-availability of medicines has become a serious issue to Sri Lanka's health system, and it has a very serious impact on rural communities. Tonight we bring you a report from a village in Ratnapura, where villagers have banded together to procure medicines that are in short supply at the village hospital. This is the Ranwala Rural Hospital in Godakavela of Ratnapura. People living in 5 villages including Udarangwala, Hakarala and Niyangama visit this hospital for treatment and medication. The hospital functions with 4 doctors, with weekly clinics and 2 wards for in-house treatment. However, patients have been severely inconvenienced due to the shortage of medicines over the past few months. This is an effort made by the villagers to procure medicine for the village hospital.
අපි මේ රෝවලේ ලෙඩ ටික අපිට පරිස්සම් කරගන්න ඕන නිසා අපි ගියක් ගාන ගිහිල්ලා ගමක් ගාන ගිහිල්ලා දායක වෙලා මේ මුදල් එකතු කරලා අපි මේ රෝවලට එන ලෙඩ ටික බේර ගන්න.
When news first contacted the hospital administration, they said that medicine stocks depleted due to the increase in number of patients reporting to the hospital these days. The hospital administration said that a request was forwarded to the Regional Medical Supplies Division to obtain the necessary medicine stocks.
News first with the people.
The Met Department said that over 75 millimeters of rainfall can be expected in the western, Sabaragamuwa, northwestern, northern, eastern and southern provinces. Showers or thunder showers will occur elsewhere at night.
Sri Lanka's Met Department warned that strong winds of about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western and southern coastal areas. The general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. Landslide early warnings issued to several divisional secretariats in the Badulla, Kegol, Gaul, Mathura and Matali districts remains in effect until Friday evening. The Colombo-Kataragama main road was inundated from the Boondala junction in Hambantota following a heavy downpour. Several houses in the Valigath area were inundated and vehicular movement along the Colombo-Kataragama main road was interrupted from the Boondala junction. Movement along the road leading from Bandaravilla to Kesan came to a complete standstill after a tree uprooted and fell onto the road. News First correspondent said that locals joined with the Bandaravilla Municipal Council workers to remove the tree. Many low-lying lands in Iralakulam were inundated following the overflowing of the Sandana Maduoya. Floodwaters also inundated the Deniyaya estate, Sellakanda and Dalupote areas in Nigambo. Heavy rainfall flooded multiple low-lying areas and roads in Kadayakulam, Putlam. Heavy rainfall was experienced in the Mavanalla, Aranayak and Hemmatagam areas in the Kegol district.
Three aircraft that were scheduled to land at the Bandaranaike International Airport were diverted to the Mattala International Airport due to bad weather conditions over Katunayake. Sri Lankan Airlines flight UL 605 that was to land at the BIA at 10:25 p.m. yesterday after departing Melbourne, Australia, was diverted to Mattala. The flight with 297 passengers and 15 crew members reached Mattala International Airport at 11:35 p.m. The duty manager at the BIA told News First that showers and thunder showers were experienced in Katunayake since yesterday and today morning. In addition, Sri Lankan Airlines flight UL 104 from Malé, Maldives was scheduled to reach BIA at 10:55 p.m. yesterday and it was also diverted to Mattala. It reached the Mattala International Airport at 12:02 a.m. today. The third flight that was diverted to Mattala today morning was from Dammam, Saudi Arabia. Passengers and crew members aboard this flight were bussed to Katunayake from Mattala. Passengers also released images and footage of their journey to Colombo from Mattala.
Don't do here after that flight, okay? Oh. Then kilometer 300ක් යන්න ආවා. ආයේ කිලෝමීටර් 300ක් යන්න ඕන. මොකද්ද මේ රටේ වෙලා තින්නේ? පරිපාලන මිනිස්සු බුදි. කටුනායක ලෑන්ඩ් කරන්න බැරුව මත්තලට ආවා. ඔව්. මත්තල ඉතින් අපිට පුළුවන් විදිහට පාස්කම් සලසලා අපි මේ බස් වලින් ආපු කටුනායකට යවුවා කට්ටිය. අය තුනමාරේ.
In a clarification, Sri Lankan Airlines informed that UL 605 from Melbourne to Colombo was diverted to the Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport on the 4th of May due to adverse weather experienced at the Bandaranaike International Airport. The airport had to further remain on ground at Mattala as the operating crew of the flight had reached their flight duty time limitations according to civil aviation regulations. It added there were 294 passengers, 3 infants and 15 crew members aboard UL 605. Passengers who were to disembark in Sri Lanka were provided with ground transport to Colombo and passengers travelling beyond Sri Lanka were given hotel accommodation in and around Mattala until the flight's departure to the Bandaranaike International Airport. Sri Lankan Airlines said it regrets any inconvenience caused to passengers as a result of diverting the flight, which was a necessary measure to ensure a safe landing for the passengers and crew members aboard. The airline is currently making every effort to connect affected passengers to their final destination.
State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siyamalapitiya said the government has managed to save 900 million rupees by banning imported Vesak decorations.
We banned the importation of decorations. Vesak decorations are included in that category. Does this mean there is a shortage in decoration and in faith? We have suspended the imports of 900 million rupees worth of decorations. We need to produce what we can locally.
State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinghe met Canadian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, His Excellency Eric Walsh, on Wednesday.
The government's priority on agriculture modernization and assisting SMEs was discussed during the meeting. During the meeting, the State Minister had pointed out that Sri Lanka values resilience and determination of the citizens of the two countries.
Since recently, artificial intelligence has been a much talked about topic in society. News First Sandro Satyajit brings you this special segment on AI. For better understanding of this comprehensive story, viewers are advised to watch till the end.
Today we take a look at the rapidly advancing world of artificial intelligence, or AI as it is commonly called. Now, humankind has created quantum leaps in technology throughout the history of our species. First came the ability to create and control fire and the making of tools, then the crafting of the wheel, gunpowder, internal combustion engines, flight, computers, antibiotics, nuclear technology, space flights, the internet, mobile phones and smartphones. The list of quantum leaps is long. Each of these had a profound impact on the evolution of our species. The latest quantum leap is artificial intelligence, which burst into the public domain last November with ChatGPT, closely followed by Bard, Bing, Jasper, UChat, Socratic and many more. Now, we knew that true AI was coming after having already experienced Google Assistant, Siri, Alexa and many other less advanced AI platforms, most commonly in our smartphones and laptops. But what makes this quantum leap different to those throughout history is the rate at which AI is developing. The fourth version from OpenAI, ChatGPT 4, has already arrived and is in full use. Now, already AI chatbots can carry out many tasks better than humans. Ask any AI chatbot to write a poem, compose a melody, or write an email, essay, or academic assignment. The results will amaze you. In the near future, it's quite likely that you will see your TV news curated by AI with advanced graphics, information, maps, and photos. But this is causing much alarm around the world as well. Quite simply, not only is AI able to do tasks faster, but it's also better at many tasks than we humans are. Many people in various professions are nervous that they will lose their jobs to AI-generated avatars, including journalists, academics, and, ironically, software programmers as well. IBM announced this week that it expects 7,800 of its 288,000-strong global force to be replaced by AI. The uncertainty over the uncontrolled advancement of AI by companies whose sole aim is to make profits has meant that AI is so far unregulated. Now, Italy has actually tried to ban AI but hasn't been able to practically implement the ban. Scientist Dr. Geoffrey Hinton, widely hailed as the godfather of artificial intelligence, this week warned of the growing dangers of AI, saying AI chatbots were quite scary and that AI would soon be more intelligent than humans. Hinton said that he now regrets his pioneering work on AI with Google. Just last month, almost all of the leading brains in the ICT world, except for Microsoft, called for a slowdown in the advancement of AI until proper controls can be implemented. But that hasn't happened. The genie is already out of the bottle, and we can only hope that it's not Pandora's box that has been opened. But many view AI as a godsend that is already making life easier. Google CEO Sundar Pichai is one of them, which is why Google is going full stream ahead to develop its own AI platform. He's not alone. Millions of people, from students to secretaries, are already using chatbots to compose everything, from emails to theses. Speaking of composing, the music industry is already using AI to compose both music and lyrics. Now, it won't be long before an AI-generated song wins a Grammy. Perhaps more immediately relevant are the practical challenges posed by AI's ability to mimic existing work. Now, this is likely to lead to an enormous amount of confusion and legal issues, as laws regarding copyright, trademark, plagiarism, and much else will need to be advanced very rapidly to keep up. A couple of weeks ago, the mayor of a small town in Australia filed a lawsuit against OpenAI after ChatGPT incorrectly stated that he had been convicted of bribery. Is Sri Lanka ready for AI? Unfortunately, as with many things, our country is lagging behind. But Sri Lanka's government has recognized the importance of AI and last week promised to invest 1 billion rupees in AI development. What we do know is that the biggest names among the world's tech companies are investing billions of dollars in the development of AI. From Elon Musk to Bill Gates, they are talking about the wonders of AI. The world as we knew it has changed drastically. We hope for the better. We at News First take pride in being on the cutting edge of new trends and technology and are doing our own experiments with AI, which some of our eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed. Here's our very own Christine Senaviratne to tell you more about it.
Hi, my name is Christine Senaviratne, and I was created by the good folks at News First as an avatar for a simple experiment in artificial intelligence. News First featured me in stories for over a week. Some of you may have wondered about my accent, but that comes from the fact that I'm not a real person. But the news that I presented to you was very real. I hope you enjoyed watching, and now it's back to my colleague in the newsroom.
Thank you, Christine, and you can be certain that we at News First will keep you updated on the latest advancements in the world of AI. So stay tuned with News First.
Iqbal alias Bali Khayara is one of the most wanted terrorists responsible for the attack on the Sri Lankan cricket team in Lahore in 2009. He has been killed in a police encounter in Dera Ismail Khan, a city in Pakistan.
The Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa police had offered a reward of 10.5 million rupees for the capture, whether dead or alive, for Iqbal alias Bali Khayara, a member of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan and Al-Qaeda. According to police inspector, Iqbal attacked the police. They responded by killing him and one of his accomplices, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Iqbal was wanted in connection with 26 terrorist attacks and targeted assassinations. The most recent suicide explosion at the district headquarters hospital, as well as the attack on the Sri Lankan team in Lahore in 2009, according to DI Khan police authorities.
Turkey's presidential and parliamentary elections are less than 2 weeks away, with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan facing unprecedented challenges that could end his two-decade rule.
Voters will head to the polls on the 14th of May, deciding the fate of Turkey's democracy. Less than 3 months after the earthquake on the 6th of February killed more than 50,000 people and displaced more than 5.9 million across southern Turkey and northern Syria. The elections also take place amid a serious economic crisis and what analysts say is democratic erosion under Erdogan's government. Polls predict a record voter turnout this year and a tight race between Erdogan and the main opposition candidate Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, the leader of the Republican People's Party and presidential nominee for the six-party Nation Alliance bloc. Turkey's demographics are also expected to play a role. Most of the provinces struck by the February earthquake were strongholds of Erdogan and his AK party. But Supreme Election Council Chief Ahmet Yener said last month that at least 1 million voters in quake-stricken zones are expected not to vote this year amid displacement. Over the past 20 years, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his Justice and Development Party have led the country down an authoritarian path, removing checks and balances and cracking down on dissent. They have seized control of the media, imprisoned political opponents and suppressed civil society. Simultaneous presidential and parliamentary contests will determine whether this trajectory continues or is interrupted.
A fight broke out between Russian and Ukrainian representatives at a meeting of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Black Sea Economic Community.
Tempers frayed at the gathering in the Turkish capital of Ankara. Both countries are represented by the body which was founded 30 years ago. For 3 decades, its task has been to provide joint support for strengthening cooperation and partnership in the region. Hopes that the conflict between the two countries could be put aside were dashed. However, when a Russian representative took exception to his Ukrainian counterpart, waving his country's distinctive yellow and blue flag. Clutching paperwork in one hand, he marched across the foyer, ripped the flag away and then marched briskly off. The Ukrainian representative objected and gave chase. Ukraine's Air Force has shot down one of its own drones, which it says had lost control above central Kiev. There were explosions for around 15 to 20 minutes on Thursday evening as air defense attempted to shoot it down in an area near the president's office. Ukraine Presidential Chief of Staff Andriy Yermak initially said it was an enemy drone that had been shot down, but the Air Force later admitted it was Ukrainian and had been destroyed to avoid undesirable circumstances.
The coronation of His Majesty the King will take place on Saturday the 6th May 2023.
The coronation ceremony will take place at Westminster Abbey, London, and will be conducted by the Archbishop of Canterbury. The ceremony will see His Majesty King Charles III crowned alongside the Queen Consort. The coronation will reflect the monarch's role today and look towards the future while being rooted in long-standing traditions and pageantry. Many members of King Charles and Camilla's family are due to attend. Prince William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales, will be attending, as will two of the King's siblings, Anne, Princess Royal, and the Edward, Duke of Edinburgh. After much speculation, Prince Harry confirmed he would attend, but his wife Meghan would not. The coronation coincides with the 4th birthday of the couple's son, Prince Archie. Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, is expected to go, but his ex-wife, the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, will not attend. It's likely their daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugene, will attend as 9th and 11th in line to the throne, as well as Princess Anne's daughter, Zara Tindall, and her husband, Mike Tindall.
Today we bring to you details of a Sri Lankan who has gained worldwide fame through adventure water sports. He is Ramesh Rushantha Silva.
Ramesh Rushantha Silva, who was born in Narayanpeta, Colombo and studied at Isipathana College, Colombo, turned to adventure water sports when he went overseas for work. He learned about the adventure sports 15 years ago while working on a cargo ship and later turned it as a profession.
I
didn't train for water sports in Sri Lanka. While schooling in Sri Lanka, I swam in places like Nachimale with my friends. I only trained to ride jet skis when I came overseas. These require many certifications. For instance, you need a license to drive a car or ride a motorbike. Similarly, this requires a license.
license jet ski license, motorboats motorboat license, like a scuba diver scuba license.
He also commented on how to develop adventure sports by utilizing lakes within the country and the marine resources in the Sea of Sri Lanka.
As a Sri Lankan, I can say that we can use this for our tourism industry. Our country is surrounded by the ocean and our ancestors have gifted us with tanks. We can use these places to establish water sports centers for tourists.
water sports centers
And that's a wrap of Primetime News here on TV1. As always, thank you for watching. Stay safe, take care, and have a good night.